Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the one and the only Rumboyz Fantasy Network. We're doing something different today. This show originally airs on my homie's channel, Real Deal HQ. He may be stopping through, but this is the Lunch Power Hour. Ladies and gentlemen, my co-host for today is Javar in session.
We here, we ready. Lunchtime.
Yeah. Yo, lunchtime. It's time for us, to talk some shit. Set the culture right. Get everybody hype. It's Thirsty Thursday, as a homie Troy like to say. So we gotta get them thirsty. Everybody's already thirsty right now. It's a week before the draft, brother. So we already know how that goes. But before we dive in, Troy may be stopping through. He usually makes an appearance. He says some shit in the chat and then suddenly pops on screen. So that could potentially happen. We'll see if LQ is able to get a break. If not, it's all good. Make sure that you guys check out Fantasy in Session.
We in the middle representing for the team.
Hell yeah. If you guys have not already, also check out Real Deal HQ. If you guys have not already, Troy over there at Confidential doing his damn thing. Check him out, and then also subscribe to my damn channel. Yeah.
Shout out. Shout out everybody.
Yeah, exactly. Big ups. Before we dive into some talk for today, I want to remind everyone, download the damn SportsMe app. All right, download the damn SportsMe app if y'all haven't already. Hop up on that thing. Get on there, drop your sports takes, go back and forth, roast each other. You already know what it is. Come get served up your L's by your boy Rumboyz Robbie. I'm serving up L's on a daily basis. You dig?
I'm dropping a hot 1-2 on there. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna come through another video. I'm gonna get my feet wet over there.
Yeah, bro. Hey, just make it part of your routine. Once it becomes part of muscle memory, it is what it is. Hey, Slip, don't tell me how to live my life. I'm telling you how to live your best life. Living your best life. Let's go ahead.
Take it
back. Well, let's go ahead, dive right into today's show. We're, like I said at the beginning, we're a week out, Ja, and it's got me wondering, like, how are you feeling being a week out? We're on Twitter, we're seeing everybody's takes, I felt like for the last month, all I've heard is Kyle Pitts. Jamar Chase is wide receiver 1. Like all the bland cookie cutter BS. You know what I mean? Like, how are you feeling a week out? Like, are you kind of just like ready for it to be here? Like, it's like Christmas,
Yeah, all the homework's done. The scouting's been done. The teams done went to see certain players, do their little training, combine shit or whatever. So we know what teams are interested in players. And now it's just time to pick them, man. And that's what all I'm waiting for. All the analysts and all that. Well, a week ahead, all that's about to be thrown out the window in a week. Soon as a Henry Ruggs get drafted first off the board again or something like that.
Bruh, after what happened yesterday, man, I'm excited to see people go at analysts and be like, you don't know anything, and then that analyst come out on top and they're like, I told you. Like, bro, that's gonna be hilarious, man, because there's always that one person that's like, I was in the room with so and so. It's like, no, you weren't. You were just on so and so's live stream.
The thing is, the draft is just, everything could be shaken up once we get to pick 4 and the Falcons. If the Falcons trade back, everything can get shaken up. So everything everybody's been talking about can basically get thrown out the window if the Falcons trade back.
Do you wholeheartedly believe that there's going to be 3 QBs selected with the top 3 picks? Like, that's never happened.
Got to. That's what it set up. The San Francisco traded up. And the Jets traded their quarterback, and then everybody knows Lawrence is 101. So yeah, it got to shake out like that.
Like, how blockbuster would it be if it went like Lawrence, Fields, or like Lawrence Fields? Because I feel like Fields he's the second best quarterback in this draft, hands down. All of you Zach Wilson truthers, eat your heart out. It's my take, and I can say what I want.
Fact.
But I mean, like Like three right off the brick. Like we haven't had that. Niantic said it happened McNabb's year. So McNabb's year was the last time that we saw three just boom, boom, boom right away. I'm curious. I'm curious to see how these three guys shake out. I feel like whatever one lands with the San Francisco 49ers will have the because of the landing spot and because of the things that they already have and they're still in their Super Bowl window, that will be the quarterback that will have the most prime opportunity and have probably the most maybe short-term successful career. I don't know long-term because, you got to re-sign Kittle and you got to keep Debo happy. You got to keep all those guys happy, but they have a really young team right now, very talented team that's still in its Super Bowl window. I want Fields to go off the board at 2, but I would love to see him in that red and gold. What are your thoughts?
It's more of does he fit Shanahan in a West Coast scheme type offense? I believe he would. Would Zach Wilson fit it better? It's the thing. So I just feel like it's predicated on Shanahan. It's all in Shanahan's hand which quarterback he feels best fits his system, because that's all San Francisco need is quarterback, maybe a cornerback too, since Richard Sherman is a free agent.
Yeah.
But other than that, they definitely need a quarterback with all that talent around the team just to juice it up. So Fields going there will definitely be lovely for fantasy for sure.
Yeah, I'm hoping so. And plus, I want the brother to get a ring, and it's not going to happen with the Jets. Like this is where the culture side of things I'm gonna bring into it. Let's face it, all of our brothers and sisters out there, they're gonna be like, yes, let's go Fields, hell yeah, baby. If he goes 2 overall. And we're going to completely block out the fact that he just went to the goddamn Jets. I want this man to go to the 49ers. I'm okay if he falls at 3. And the backfield's going to be amazing. They can do a lot of great things. They just brought in Wayne Gallman. You still got you still got Jeff Wilson Jr. back there. A lot of you zero RB truthers prior to the Wayne Gallman signing were on the Jeff Wilson Jr. hype train. I still think you get value out of him, definitely down in the red zone. Mm-hmm. But Wayne Gallman coming into town, Herm's asking, how do we feel about that? I'll let you start this one off, brother.
I think he's going to compete to be the second or third running back. So wherever he's placed, if he's third running back, he'll have value once one of the other running backs miss a game. So in Dynasty, he will be a good stash that you could probably play a couple weeks when somebody's injured, unless he's running back 2. Whoever's running back 2 in this situation will have some type of flex value. So that's all you're looking for. If he's on the waivers, you can go out there and grab him and hoping that he gets the running back number 2 position. But it looks like that's already Wilson's. But we'll see.
I'm sorry, I just hit the fucking pin. So I'm like a little. I just got my.
Look. You thought you hit the pin. The pin hit your ass.
Yeah. Wayne Gallman. He ended at he ended at our RB 29 last year. So not exactly within that RB 24 range where most of us like to get our guys. He did end as RB 29. I do believe though that that is correct. JD Hasty is still there. Jermichael Hasty is still there. This backfield is completely loaded with talent. I could see them doing exactly what they've done in previous years and utilizing a combination of Gallman, Jeff Wilson Jr. and Hasty, kind of how they would utilize Jeff Wilson down the red zone. Then they would, mix in Raheem Mostert, and then Tevin Coleman would come in. I think they want to have that 3-headed monster back there. I knew Herms was going to go crazy over the Jermichael comment. He was like, Jermichael Hasty is the GOAT. Herms loves some Jermichael Hasty.
I feel like this, man. As long as San Francisco has them alignment and Shanahan's running that offense, they put me or you back there, we'll probably get at least 500 yards on the season. With that, because anybody they put back there looks like a beast. You're like, dang, where you come from?
Yeah. You always find yourself asking yourself the question. It's like, man, Do I own a piece of this San Francisco or I'm sorry, not own, do I roster? I corrected myself.
Right.
Thank you.
Like, because if an injury happens, like whoever next in line, their first game, they're going to get 80 yards and a touchdown or something like that, you know?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Not analytics brings up the problem with this backfield is we don't know who gets touches week to week. Exactly what I just brought up. We saw it in 2019. It looked like Mostert's job going into the divisional round. Then Tevin got 22 touches. Exactly. 100%. You never know what's going to happen from a fantasy football standpoint with this team. But from an NFL standpoint, I love the talent on this team. Going back to what I mentioned at the beginning, if they lock in Fields, if not this year you can probably lock them into some playoffs. I think they could definitely make some playoffs with Fields under center. Next year and the year after that, look for them to make deep runs in the playoffs.
No. If they get Fields and he comes in, you know, as a competent player and making sound decisions. Bottom line, if Fields is not turning over the ball, that team is a playoff team because they have a great defense. That defensive line, if healthy and stays healthy, is going to eat. You seen what happened in the Washington football team. You seen what happened with them. All they had was a D line, and of course, division. But you know, all they had was a D line, and they still won some of their games because the D line. So their D line is going to win them games. All it needs is Fields to not turn over the ball. And speaking of the year McNabb went with all the three quarterbacks, it was Tim Couch, Donovan McNabb. I do not know how to say this name. Achilles Smith. We don't even know them. We know Tim Couch because he went one.
Exactly. We remember Tim Couch. And that man was terrible for the fucking Browns. I think he was the last, besides Baker Mayfield, of course, but before Baker Mayfield, I think he was the last Browns quarterback that gave them a winning season. Believe it or not, yeah, I think it was Couch back in like fucking 2000.
Yeah, I don't want to hit on that. Only one of those quarterbacks are probably
exactly
fan worthy.
Exactly, Berto. I like what you brought up. I feel that exact same sentiment. I would like to have a piece of this backfield of San Fran, but as flex players. Not as my RB1 or RB2.
It seemed like if Mostert or whenever he's healthy, it seemed like he gets the majority of carry and he's the most talented back on the roster. I don't know that he has some little gear shift when a player's next to him, he just runs away and he just I don't know. A player's running at him as an angle, he's still able to outrun them to the end zone. So he has some talent that's best there. I feel you can lock him in as a back end running back too if he's healthy. But as far as that, anybody else, I will more so put in a flex play because somebody is going to get some of those carries. But if Mostert is getting a 60% of the share and a couple in zone, he's going to be a back end running back too for sure.
Before we switch gears into another player, I want to bring this up about San Fran. San Fran has this really great ability when it comes to scouting these running backs or acquiring these running backs. They do really well at getting guys that on all other teams would be RB2s, and they take them all and they put them all together in this committee. And that's why you never know who's going to touch the ball because they're utilizing all these guys' talent. It really is and as fantasy football aside, this is for all my real X's and O's nerds out there. It's really beautiful what Shanahan does because he really understands the personnel that he has inside and out, and that's why he can utilize them in the manner that he does. Whether it's running the rock between the three-headed monster, sometimes even a four-headed monster in the backfield, or even utilizing Ayuk or Deebo Samuel, on jet sweeps and counters and things of that nature. It really is. Think of an orchestra just playing a beautiful symphony. When you watch Shanahan coach, and I get he's not good in the big games, in the big situations.
I've seen it.
Exactly. Hey, he was my offense. He was our offensive coordinator in Washington before he went down to you guys. Yeah.
So yeah, I seen it.
Yes, I synced it. Shout out to Craig Robinson.
Matt Ryan best days.
I want to get into a player that we kind of brought up in our group chat.
Okay.
And I want to do this so that we can be ahead of the curve before everyone next week after the draft. You know, the next 2 weeks are like, Joe Mixon's a value now. Joe Mixon's a value. We know that it's going to happen, and it happens every single year. But the difference is Jonah Williamson is going to be back healthy on that line, and they have an opportunity to go get Penei Sewell.
And you know, a lot of people are trying not to pencil in a guard there, or a lot of fantasy people want them to, you know, get Pitts if he fall, or get Jamar Chase if he fall. But it's like, why do that when you pay Mixon all this money? It's better to go get that O lineman and recreate some type of offense Joe Burrow had at LSU, which you chasing Jefferson, you know, you got Boyd and Higgins over there. Those are two competent wide receivers. Then you got a star Joe Mixon back there who can run and catch the ball, recreate some of that offense, and things should flow. And also their defense is not very good. So all the pieces on their offense are set in place to be some valuable fantasy players next year due to a whack defense. So I've been all in on this offense. You know, I inquired about a couple Mixon shares, but those owners wasn't too low on Mixon like a lot of people have been. But as soon as that guard goes to the Bengals, it's all over from there. The hype is gonna build.
Yeah, absolutely. Jaws, really quick to answer your question, man. Maybe brainstorm a couple of different trade scenarios. Just send out a couple of fillers to see if maybe you can get yourself out of that out of that situation. If you are really gauge how you feel. If you are really worried about Gallman being there, then start laying out some fillers to see if anyone will want to acquire Mostert.
You think Gallman is a better athlete than Mostert?
I don't think that he's a better athlete, but I think that he showed enough last year to where it is very hard to doubt that the 49ers are not going to use him in some capacity. But we also have to remember that OTAs have to take place. These guys have to make teams. So we need to keep that in mind too, that, you know, the 49ers have
let's put it like
ton of backs.
When Shanahan has a healthy squad, he usually uses two running backs, and there's a third guy that mixed in. Last year, a lot of backs kept getting dinged up when they was the guy on the team. So with all these running backs, he's just have these running backs in line just in case. Shanahan usually run a 1-2 punch scheme, so you're usually looking for that number one player and the number two player. You know, whoever wins number 1 and 2 spot, those are the guys you go after and redraft. And then in Dynasty, of course, you can get all the other guys and fillers for just in case. But that's all I'm watching for, the 1 and 2 spot. The 3 spot is just a handcuff.
Yeah, Jaws, me personally, I stay away from rosters like that have a lot of people. Herm's absolutely correct. Fantasy people always forget there's more than 4 positions, which I'm about to get back into as we explain this Joe Mixon thing. Ladies and gentlemen, here's our guest appearance. As always.
What's going on, y'all? You know, I had to stop by just for a little bit just to say what's up, say hi to all the people out there.
Yeah, I must have not said anything stupid because you weren't clowning me in the chat so far today.
No, you know what it is? Because I've been trying to be in the chat, man, but you know, my work doesn't understand how important this is. So I've been fully paying attention to what's going on. You know what I'm saying? So I'm here now. You gotta tell me what we're talking about right now.
So right now, what I was working on segueing into is this Joe Mixon hype. But you saw LQ bring it up in the chat earlier this morning, and I think that the hype could be warranted if they get Sewell. What are your thoughts?
So it's funny, right? Because one of my homies actually, he's talking about like comparing Josh Jacobs to Joe Mixon, right? And I believe that Joe Mixon is going to be a value, right? I mean, the issue is that I don't want to fall for the trap again, because every single year, everybody makes excuses in terms of, okay, Joe Mixon is going to be RB1. Joe Mixon is going to do this. And for the most part, he's been a letdown. I mean, it's not all his fault. There's been injuries. He's had a horrid offensive line. So there's different factors that come into play. But the way where you can get him in drafts right now, I would be looking to target Joe Mixon as my RB2. To me, if you could get Joe Mixon as your RB2, that's stealing to me just because of the potential of that offense. And we're expecting, they have Tyler Boyd, they have T. Higgins. They're not going to be able just to stack the box on him. So I believe that he is going to be benefiting from, and again, if they get Sewell, I believe that's obviously only going to help. They just need to work on the offensive line. They work on the offensive line. Obviously, that's going to help Joe Mixon. And I believe that he's going to be a steal in drafts this year.
And let me add into all the good news on Joe Mixon. Gio is gone. The guy who used to catch all the passes is gone. Mm-hmm. So this is just looking up for Mixon to have a lot of 20-ish between carries and receptions, a lot of 20-ish games.
So. One of the things about Sewell that I want to bring up that I feel like a lot of the talk that we're going to see diminish, and I want the those of you guys that have Joe Burrow rostered, go out there and start making cases for this guy, because if they get Sewell, that is going to make not just Mixon that much better and that much more of a value in fantasy, but it's also going to make Burrow that much more of a value, and that's also going to make the wide receiver core that much more of a value. Also, with this being said, fantasy aside, Cincinnati, if you are actually trying to win something, if you are actually trying to maintain, the world is getting back to normal. I just got my shot on 420, okay? Listen, if you want to win and put some damn asses in seats, you need to lock in and start winning some games, and this is how you do it. You don't need Jamar Chase would be great, but that's not what you need.
Bro, you preaching, bro. Absolutely. I couldn't agree with that more.
I think they're put some asses in some seats. That should be an exciting team next year. Higgins, Boyd, Mixon, 2 first-round O linemen that are going to be back. You said John Williams is coming back. Yeah, that's my door back there.
Yeah. What in the
Yeah, I thought that was some.
I was waiting for someone to like Javar, run. Oh, this is not that movie.
Whatever. Yeah, it scared me a little bit.
But yeah, offer him some Sprite and some boy Albert. I don't even get the joke. That went right over my head.
It went over my head too, but I bet it was funny. I just don't get it.
Yeah, I don't get it. All righty, so let's continue. Let's keep it moving. Let's go ahead and take it down to Welcome to Miami.
Okay, I can do this. I'm about
Miami. As long as we have you here, boy. What? It's a week away. All right. The show got audibled over here on the network. So while I have you here, I might actually have you on Friday night. So I'll give you a second opportunity.
Of course.
Okay. But let's go ahead and let's nail it in. What are you guys going to be doing at the first pick?
Sure. So if Pitts is there, then we're going to be taking Pitts. I strongly believe that. And here's the thing, right? So, and then there have been rumors about, possible mock drafts, us moving up to 4, because obviously Atlanta could take him. There have been even rumors that the Bengals could take him too, right? Everybody supposedly is going to be taking Pitts. But I believe if he's, let's say we don't make any moves, if he's there at 6, I think we get Pitts just because he is just that unique of a prospect. Yes, we have Mikey G on our roster, but having Pitts and Mikey G who are you going to use to guard them, right? Like linebackers and safeties, it's going to be a mismatch nightmare if we have both of them, because Mikey G, don't sleep on Mikey G, right? He's a red zone threat. He led the team in touchdowns last year, right? I know there's some injuries, but Mikey G, and he's consistently, last year he was a top tight end, like tight end 1. So having Kyle Pitts, I believe that would be my second option, though. If I had to have a second option, I believe it's going to be Jamar Chase. We do need, last year we were throwing to guys like Jakeem Grant and Matt Collins, right? Those were some of our starting wide receivers, right? Trash. So, yes, we just got Fuller. Preston Williams, I love Preston Williams, but you know what? He hasn't been healthy. And at the same time, it's like, and also he was undrafted, right? So we don't really have that much draft capital in him. I don't know what we're going to do, but I believe if you have someone like Jamar Chase, you have Fuller, you have Devontae Parker, that's a solid wide receiver core. And let's say we have Mikey G too, right? Like that that's how you help Tua, right? Tua needs weapons to pass to. So, and I also believe that we're going to go running back. So whether it's Najee Harris, maybe with an 18, or in the second round, we can get Javonte Williams. I know that Myles Gaskin did his thing last year, and I love him. I still think he's going to be very involved in the offense, but he's a sub 200 pounds, right? Like he's not built as a workhorse running back. We saw him get injured last year. I believe he's going to be very involved still, but I just don't see him having the same amount of the running back touches as he did last year. I think they get a bigger body back to help, just relieve a little bit of that stress off of him. And I think Najee Harris, Javonte Williams both profile as that bigger body, stronger back that would complement Gaskin well.
They are fucking going off in the comments. God. Tua has a top 5 defense and still can't be a top 15 QB.
No, but well done. I already talked about it, right? We had a rookie line. LQ and we already debated this on another show, right? Talking about also our line, we had some rookies, right? A majority of the line were rookies last year, so that's part of it, right? The offensive play calling was also an issue last year. And again, do I have to talk about our receivers we were throwing to? Like Lynn Bowden was one of the starters, right? I know, he had a little bit of flash, but he wanted to start in wide receivers. And then we had Jakeem Grant. We had Matt Collins, right? We had Isaiah Ford. These were people who were starting for us. Who do you get? You guys think they're going to be starting next year? No. We're going to be upgrading. It's going also, Tua's not going to be, coming off of injury. He's going to have an off season. He's going to have a way better season than he did last year.
God, Josh, fuck.
I'm not even reading at the comments. But I just had that's my argument.
Yeah. Don't read the chat. It's a good thing you're not reading the chat.
I'm not looking at the chat, man, because I don't care what the chat says, because I'm right.
I'm right. Hey, in the words of Bogart, your version is better. Yo, just so you guys know, you guys will be able to catch LQ, Troy, and Javar all together this Friday as special guests on Rumboyz After Dark. There's going to be a lot of black on black crime from what the looks of this is already looking like.
Black on black on black on black on black on black.
But y'all, I have to head out. I had to say that real quick. Wait, let me see what Chindofa comes on. Man, yeah, we ain't look. Man, Chindofa though. But yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Man, Birdo, man, Birdo's the one talking junk. You can't listen to anything Birdo says. That's who's been talking junk, man.
There's been everyone.
Just mute everything that LQ and Birdo says, and the show will be better. Bye, y'all, fellas. I'm gonna head out. I'll be in the comments though.
Already G1.
Thanks for stopping through. But I feel like Miami can go anywhere. My concern is Fuller's on a 1-year deal. I don't know how many Parker has left, 2 or 3, and I don't even know if Parker is the right wide receiver to compare with Tua. So I feel like they can go tight end or wide receiver and then that first pick. So it's going to be interesting.
These motherfuckers is funny in the chat. They're funny. Bogart is right though. Trent Dilfer, he was completely ass and he won a Super Bowl with the Ravens. My concern with Miami is the amount of turnover. Okay, so the NFL is a business. You have constantly drafted.
Mm-hmm.
Like at this point they've got to be one of the youngest, like average age teams in the league. I don't know what we can really make of Tua, but I mean at the same time, we're old enough to remember when Peyton Manning's rookie year, and everyone was like, "Oh, what happened? Like we're not sure if this guy is gonna be anything." And then all of a sudden, he got better and he blew up.
I'm optimistic about him. I think
Yeah, I mean, like rookie woes are gonna happen. Like we have to keep an open mind. And maybe I'm saying this because I've interviewed rookies, so like I guess I have a little bit of empathy. I feel like oftentimes we're so hard on a lot of these guys, and it's like we have to realize, tight ends sometimes it takes 3 years for them to really blossom and really get out the gate. Quarterbacks, it takes a couple of years, sometimes for them to adjust the game speed.
It's just because Herbert and Burrow, all of them came out, the gate just on fire. So that's really where all the pressure is coming from. But as Troy mentioned, they failed to realize he was throwing to, sorry to call him, nobodies. Everybody was hurt, a depleted wide receiver core. So just with the Fuller after 2 games, Parker and Pitts or Jamar Chase or Devontae Smith, whatever wide receiver, we know they're going to get some kind of specialty player there. And whichever one they get there should be a boost. And so basically, after this year, if Tua don't come through, it's over with. If he don't come through after this year, it's no more excuses. It's no more excuses.
I feel that. Yeah, after this year, I'm gonna cut Tua some slack this year, like because Troy made a very valid point. Like, who are you throwing to? Like Devontae Parker, it was your wide receiver one. Like, I don't know anyone out there that's begging for Devontae Parker to come to their team to be a wide receiver one. They may say, "Can you please come to my team to be a wide receiver two?" I don't know any fan of any of the 32 teams that's like, "Yeah, we want him as our wide receiver one."
And I spoke about it before. Tua is more like a technician guy. Like Parker is more of a jump ball, run down field person. That's why he mixed well with Fitz. Where Tua, he want more of a route runner to be on time, and things like that. So he can throw in tight holes and just, So that's why I feel they need a player who can run more precise routes, and that more so fits Tua. And I think the team will be much better if they get that type of player. Fuller showed some. Fuller showed he can be that number 1 guy and run all 9 routes last year. So they may be on to something.
Oh yeah. I'm excited to see what they do. They have a lot of still they have plenty of draft picks. They can move around, get free agents if they want to, add some more experience to where they want to maybe avoid having too many rookies, too many inexperienced guys at the elite level. So it's going to be interesting. I want to go ahead really quick, brother, and I want you to take us to Atlanta where the players play. What is it looking like? What are you hearing in the local area? Whenever you go out to a bar or whatever, what are the locals saying in terms of pick 4?
Well, the locals, everybody in the A wants Justin Fields. He's from the area, and we done seen him play so much, done heard so much about him. He was supposed to be at UGA, then UGA messed it up by letting what round did Jake Fromm? What round?
It was like Jake Fromm. Yeah.
What round did he get drafted in? They let a 3rd rounder play over a 1st rounder. Or whatever, but UGA mishandled this prospect, and now he was at Ohio State, bringing all the hype to Ohio State when it was supposed to be at UGA. So all the Atlanta fans want Fields to come home and play for Atlanta. They want that Michael Vick feeling.
Yeah.
They want that black quarterback in the building. They just, a lot of us have really been over Matt Ryan. I'm not as far as the Falcons fans that's just trashing Matt Ryan. I respect Matt Ryan. He is a decent quality quarterback that a lot of NFL teams will want on their team, but it's just over with. I'm ready to see a new quarterback come in, but that's as far as a fan. But as a real person that's understanding the game and the team and the nature of the team and financial status, it would be very smart to trade back and have one of those draft years. The draft year where we picked up Deion Jones, Grady Jarrett, Neal at safety, and a couple other prospects in later round that came through and played. We need to trade back and have one of those drafts where we get a lot of picks within the 2nd and 5th rounds, and we can draft a lot of guys because we have a lot of holes to fill on defense, and just trading back to fill those needs would be helpful, because we're in a financial bend and we need to get a lot of rookies to go with our team because it's place to win now. We cannot wait to win next year the way our financial status is set up. So that's what I'm hoping will happen. I wouldn't be mad if they went Justin Fields and let him sit a year and try to trade Matt Ryan next year either too.
Yeah, I feel like you can't be mad about that, because going back to what I was complaining about now, this organization, this city is not as big of a market as Atlanta is, but what I was mentioning about Cincinnati, it's like you got to keep asses in seats, because you got to keep cash flow coming in. And with that being said, and with that being stated, Atlanta having Fields, like we're talking jersey sales, we're talking, that's your guy that you can put on the cover of season tickets for season ticket holders. Like all those things make a difference when we look at the business side of the NFL. From the fantasy side, I wouldn't mind, even from a dynasty perspective, hell, maybe Fields comes in, if you draft a guy like Fields, he's going to play at some point in the season, So yeah. So, maybe I get to see some Fields action, later. I don't mind him being on my bench, in dynasty or dynasty startups because, well, I'm usually going to have some veteran presence there already to lead me through. Now, one of the things I also wanted to bring up with what you were saying during your take is you don't always necessarily need to go and get one of those early elite QBs. We love them from the fan standpoint, and we love them from the fantasy standpoint because they usually end up on garbage teams where they're going to have to throw a lot, But with that said, and with that being stated, if you guys do strengthen up the defense, he said beer all gone. No, I'm about to be at the end of my mixed drink here. But with that being said, you can strengthen up your defense, and then you can bring in a quarterback. We've seen teams have not the greatest of QBs or mediocre subpar QBs and still make it to distance because their defense can carry them. Bogart brought it up with Trent Dilfer in 2000 with the Ravens. So,
and another thing is we got a new GM and a new head coach, so it's really predictable what they're gonna do. This first time we've seen them work together, so we really don't know what type of moves they're gonna do. Footnote is on Wax, the GM saying that he would like to get a quarterback of the future, but the head coach is also on Wax saying Matt Ryan has 3 to 4 years left in him. So what we do will pick forward, predicate what we do for the rest of the draft. I'll tell you which way this organization is leaning towards. So as a Falcon fan, this is why I'm really excited about the draft because it's going to let me know a lot about what the GM and head coach are trying to do to this team.
And we also have to look at what type of draft this is. This is a very offensive player heavy draft. Mm-hmm. This is a very deep wide receiver class. You have still some great quarterbacks even after the big three come off the board, i.e. Ian Book. I know a lot of people have him ranked 10th, but he practically broke every single record at Notre Dame that a quarterback could possibly hold. So, I mean, there's a lot of great talent out there. David Mills out of Stanford. He's probably the most complete quarterback, most NFL ready guy out of maybe all of these kids at the quarterback position. So I mean, there's a lot to work with, in this year's draft. Even the running backs, Khalil Herbert could be a guy. Trey Sherman could be a guy at the running back position.
Or Gainwell.
Yeah, Gainwell.
On the chart, so you ain't gonna mention him. A lot of people are on game on him, but yeah, it's. I like what you're saying. That's why I said I would like to see them trade back because, like you just said, it's a lot of late prospects. We don't need offensively. We would love to get a star to come in, but we don't need a star to come in. We don't, Kyle Pitts would be lovely to come in at tight end, but the offense, and that would basically put our offense over the top, and we would just be a team that's trying to score out every week. But we're a team that don't need that. We more so need the mid-grade B players to fill in that air position. We got a lot of A+ players on our team. Now we just need some B-grade players. So it's going to be interesting. That's why I say whatever Atlanta do at 4 and then whatever Miami do with all their picks, this could be a lot of trading in this draft. It's going to be fun. I can't wait.
Yeah. Jaws, I agree. I think that the league kind of maybe leaning towards that again. We see this happen in Green Bay year after year. The Chiefs did it with the Alex Smith to Mahomes, so on and so forth. Miami from Fitz to Tua. We see this very, 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 very often versus, just automatically starting a guy. Of course, Lawrence is going to be the day one QB, But I do kind of like the philosophy of these younger guys learning underneath a very experienced quarterback.
So
Go ahead.
no, but what if another scenario? Denver trades up to get their guy, and Trey Lance falls at 9, and we done already picked up some extra picks. That's another scenario that could possibly happen if NFL team is crazy enough to draft Mac Jones over Trey Lance. That could possibly be another situation to where Lance could fall to 9, and I would like that shit. But
yeah, that would be amazing. Really quick, Alberto. Let's go ahead and talk about your Bears really quick, man. I mean, so he's saying that his Bears will probably trade up like they did for Trubisky to grab a QB. Won't be surprised if they trade it with Atlanta. He says that they cannot be serious with Andy Dalton, and you were kind of alluding to that. We're like, yo, like if Trey Lance can fall back to 9, and it's like, maybe they go up and they go get a guy at 4. Maybe that could happen. Like we've seen crazy things happen on draft night.
But it's just with Chicago, didn't they trade away their whole life for Khalil Mack? So I don't know if they have much assets left. I know they traded a lot of first round picks for him. So that was, yeah. I think that's why they couldn't get Russell Wilson. And they even traded a whole boatload of round picks to try to get Russell Wilson. So
I mean, now the Bears, they don't even like their starting quarterback is a backup at this point. And like what, you're gonna have a backup to a backup?
Yeah, even their head coach is a backup. I hear that's why he don't have much room to get players that he wants, because it's like a 1-year deal, like Dan Quinn type deal he had last year. I hear it might be his last year, so he can't really make too many moves. That's why he is the quarterback.
Alberto said, yes, they did. They did. That signing was premature. No one was in a hurry to sign Dalton, and so many situations yet to play out. No, I feel like that was a very premature signing, and they put themselves in a very, very fucked up hole. They could have went out and gotten Fitzpatrick, and luckily we did it, and I'm happy about it. But I mean, you're absolutely correct, Jaws. The Bears are an anomaly in this year's draft because there's so many needs. Like there's so many needs.
I'll put it like this. When the Bears fired Lovie Smith,
shit went downhill, bro.
When they fired him for having a winning season but didn't make the playoffs because the other teams in the division was just better. They're like 10-6 or something. And they fired Lovie Smith. At that point in time, I knew I was like, the Bears don't know what they're doing. Their organization from here on out is going to be a shit show until they figure something out. Because you fire a guy who went 10-6 and made the playoffs the previous years. You just build great defensive teams, and your offense is kind of, suck. But yeah, once they fired Lovie Smith, I washed my hands with Chicago. I was like, I don't know what you're doing. I love watching Chicago for the defensive side of the game, but now you fire Lovie Smith, and ever since then, nothing as good has happened in Chicago.
No, yeah, no, absolutely nothing good has happened. You can't use David Montgomery in the right manner. Allen Robinson's the only damn receiver that you guys practically use.
They got Darnell Mooney, but nobody can hit him even when he's on an island by himself.
Exactly. Yeah. They can't hit Mooney. They drafted the Ridley brother, Riley. And they've never used him. They've never used him.
He won up there with his brother. He was
he was good though. He was good. I wanted to see him play. He was one of my favorite guys I got to interview, bro. I like Riley a lot. But I mean,
I got a question for you though.
What's up?
I've been thinking about lately, just looking at Pittsburgh running back situation.
Oh God,
that right there. I mean, that's fantasy gold right there. Whoever that running back is, like, are they gonna draft somebody, or is it gonna be?
Dude, that's gonna be crazy. Like I guess they gotta draft someone. Like, there's no way in hell that you're trusting fucking Benny the Snail Smith.
They got
Benny Snell Jr. Like you're not trusting Benny Snell. You're not trusting Anthony McFarland. I mean, maybe you trust Anthony McFarland
and Ballage or something like that. That's the other guy.
Kalen Balaj. Yeah, oh God, Kalen Balaj. Kalen Balaj has never fucking started for any team. No team has ever taken that man serious. No team is ever going to take that man serious.
And I'm surprised I haven't seen many people talk about this because whatever running back starts at Pittsburgh, they're usually at least, if they get majority carries, they're a running back 2 at least, but with a high floor of running back 1. So this is a situation that I've been eyeing on, trying to get little cheap assets just in case they don't draft anyone. But I feel like they're going to draft someone, and this is a situation to be monitoring for sure. And if they don't draft someone, is it McFarland?
I mean, that's who they drafted last year. I mean, so here let me take a look at this draft. Where did Pittsburgh pick? I don't even think they have a first round pick. Oh, they do. Pick 24. Say, oh damn, they could get Najee. Oh shit. Najee could land to them right there at 24. Damn. That just got very interesting.
And no one's really been talking about that whole situation. I seen somebody in chat say ATL and still is going to be drafting a running back for sure. It's talk about the running back. I mean, it talks about the Falcons drafting in the seconds from Travis, but I hear NFL experts saying Travis going to go off the board first. Crazy.
Yeah, I think if I'm Arizona, I'm going after Travis Etienne. I think Etienne fits the way that they play perfect.
I really don't know Arizona what they need on the defensive side, but on the offensive side, for sure. I just feel like, yeah, that's a scheme that fit Travis, and yeah, that'd be
that'd be crazy because Travis can also work out the backfield a little bit too. Like Najee reminds me more so of like Derrick Henry, just about a couple of pounds off, about like almost like 10, 20 pounds off, like 10, 15 pounds off from Derrick Henry. But I mean, he runs a lot like him, and Pittsburgh likes that type of shit. So like
that's what. Yes, Najee Harris is a Pittsburgh running back for sure, bro. From the main Bettis to the guys that came at, he fits the scheme of a Pittsburgh running back, and if he went there, that would be crazy, bro.
Bro, if he goes there, oh gosh, get ready. Everybody out there, gear up for fucking Derrick Henry 2.0.
But I believe Pittsburgh needs a lot of help on defense. So if there is a star defensive player that they love, they're probably gonna draft a defensive player there. They usually draft defensive players higher than offensive guys later rounds. So
Bogart says he's a Pittsburgh running back for sure, hard-nosed type. But it's going to be hard for any running back to get anything going behind that line. LOL. That line is that line is fucking trash. That line is trash. But I mean, hey, if once again, I mean, if Najee Harris is sitting there at 24, like you gotta be looking at, because by 24, obviously Sewell's gone, Slater's gonna be gone, Darrisaw is gonna be gone. So then, like, kind of like after those main linemen go, it's like, well, I guess I can wait till the second round to go and get someone. Like,
I just feel like we might be at the end of the era of running backs being taken in the first round.
Yeah, I've been hearing that a lot more lately.
The last one was Saquon Barkley in the early round. Then after that, CH went 32nd last year. And so we might be at an era where running backs are just second round commodities now.
Yep, and CH was not even the guy that most analysts had like to be the first running back off the board. Like I remember when that happened, everyone was like, "What?"
I mean,
CH?
Like you said, Travis fit Arizona. CH, he just fit the Chiefs. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, it would have probably been much better if they'd have got Swift.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Chiefs, they were kind of forced into drafting CH because I think the opt-outs happened before the draft, if I remember correctly. I think Williams had already opted out, so it was like, what are we gonna do?
Facts.
So it was like, then they got CH and they kind of lucked out. Running backs very rarely get drafted in the first round, though. Yeah, So I mean, you know, this is going to be interesting, bro, to sit back and watch how it all breaks down. I'm excited. One final thing before we head out, Washington football team, just please figure out this isn't even a take. It's just a beg and a fucking plea. Okay,
defense got to,
huh?
Y'all drafting defense first, got to.
No, we don't have to go defense. Like what I want us to do, we need to move up. Let's get Rashawn Slater, guard out of Northwestern. Bro, him and Chase Young practicing against each other every day, like that's gonna make us so much better. We got we got the receivers. There's so many people as of late that like here within the last like couple of days, like I'm seeing more people pop up like oh well maybe Terrace Marshall goes to Washington, and I'm like no, we don't need a slot receiver. Like I would love Terrace Marshall is right.
Curtis Samuel about to turn y'all up in the
exactly. I'm like why would we get Terrace Marshall? So I don't think that's going to happen, but I do think that
value Curtis Samuel. He's going to be valued, guys.
Exactly. Like, and plus we need to make sure that we keep our O-line strong because Sheriff is probably going to walk next year. He's probably going to go to another team next year because that franchise tagging back to back, he ain't going to be with that. I mean, but linemen are different with their money. But he's a commodity guard that teams would love to have is Brandon Sheriff. So, I mean, we'll see. I'm super nervous for pick 19. We're gonna be live. We're gonna be live on draft day here on the Rumboyz Fantasy Network. We're gonna be mad turned up. We're gonna be fucking dumb loaded.
Hype for Washington. Now they know how to drive that Corvette right. Looking at they're not and that Corvette is Terry McLaurin. They're gonna know how to drive it completely right. Downfield, down the middle. It's a wrap. It's Terry McLaurin year. It got to be, bro. It got to be top 5 dead or alive, bro. Well,
absolutely.
I don't know if it's top 5 because the defense is gonna be playing so well that he probably won't get off. So I can't go as far as top 5 because they have a good defense. But Terry McLaurin,
it's Terry McLaurin season. It's AJ Brown season. It's Terry McLaurin season. It's Justin Jefferson season. Those are my guys that like I am high on this year.
I don't know if Justin Jefferson reaches finishes where he finished last year.
I don't think he'll have like the Randy Moss-esque season. But I mean, then again, also like I don't know because like Thielen is still getting older. Like that like age is still taking a part on Thielen. So it's like
this year would tell it all. After this year would tell it all. Jefferson did look great running routes. He did Atlanta in, but everybody did Atlanta in. But I like it. I'm in on the AJ Brown and Terry McLaurin season for sure. I'm in on that.
Hell yeah. Shit. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate you guys for viewing us today. We'll be live for the draft. I'll be back live later on air for Business and Brews with Pat Fitzmaurice. So make sure you guys check that out. Javar, let them know what you guys got going on over there at Fantasy in Session.
Later on, around 2:30. So about in a couple minutes, should be getting on a call on the way to. I always call this app backwards. Clubhouse. I always say house for some reason, but I'm going to get on Clubhouse and just talk a little bit about building your brand. So I believe that's at 2:30. So that's what I got coming up next.
Hell yeah. Hey, we greatly appreciate y'all for tuning in, chilling with us. Make sure you subscribe to both of our channels. Subscribe to everybody's channels out there and just show love. Love, peace, and chicken grease. We are out of here. It's been the lunch hour. Dilly.
Out.